Welcome to Honor of Kings. Enemy minions will arrive in 5 seconds. All forces, move out!
We have our team!
Alright, hello everyone, it's me again. I am running the Lee Sin in the top lane as split push, multi-pressure, and slash diver. Attack speed 1.6%, so that's 16% attack speed with, what is that, 5% critical rate on the red moon. You'll see that sometimes. Physical Reaver here again with 16% Reaver. Eagle Eye physical attack for the 9, and the 64 physical pierce. So those are the runes. I start the armor because we're going against an 80 Lu Bu. Lu Bu is a duelist. He is pretty high on the list, on my tier list. So I'm kind of worried. And the best thing you can do is just build some armor against him to try to mitigate some of that damage. So that's what we're doing here. We got our second skill first. Sometimes I will get the first skill if I'm worried about them engaging me, so I can just kite away with a gap close. Kite is basically just moving away, but gap close can be considered as a kite, but they typically don't refer to it as that, but I use terms interchangeably, so get used to that. It's a wax on, wax off mentality. We got those armor boots. As you can see, it's definitely mitigating some of that damage. Got some good trade value on him too, so we're kind of even right now. He just got his heal though, so that makes sense. Pretty competent because he's actually using those heals. You wouldn't believe how many people just don't use those. I got this lamb coming into my lane, taxing the lane for no apparent reason. Kind of bad morals, toxicity.
You embarrass me!
You know, whatever. So we slander him, throw him under the bus. I don't know why he's doing that. Doesn't make sense. This is a solo lane. It's very important for the solo to get their golden experience so they have power to push the tide in their favor, make plays, split push, dive, etc. That's all gold dependent. That's all build dependent. Those are variables you need to control. So I don't know what he's doing. Whatever. We're just gonna say he's a troll for short. Anyways, I got my level 4, so now we can switch to the red form here. And you can try out the other form. I've seen people use it, but I stay in red form more often than not because I'm a hyper carry main. I play Fuzi here as well. Weon as well. I like playing fighters and hyper carries, so you'll see me play a lot of hyper carry in the bot lane. Even when it's not necessarily hyper carry, I will run it as hyper carry. So you'll notice that I like to do a lot of DPS in a short amount of time. DPS is my cup of tea, my tango. So let's go. See, he's rotating away already. So we take opportunity to grab all this gold as much as possible. We're sitting at 1700, so not terrible for the 3-minute mark, considering we're at like 625 gold per minute or so. I want to stay up on that. Okay, let's see what we can do about that. Got that. Nice. Trying to get these golds here, get those last hits. Fortunately missed that one, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. I think we just don't have enough attack speed right there. Otherwise I could have used my 2 skill there, but that's fine. It's probably too busy thinking. One deficit to being a think tank creative genius is I'm thinking way too much all the time. But it's cool because that helps me grow and evolve. That's why we are the catalyst for the meta of games. So we're just building our Sparkforged dagger. That is the bread and butter to the Lee Sin. And then I go Doomsday right afterwards. So if you watch all the previous guides, I go over what they do. Otherwise, you can ask me in the comments section. And I'll let you know. Otherwise, I think I'll probably include them in the guide. So you can kind of have an overview while I'm talking about it. So I'll probably do that. That'll be a little breadcrumb in my voiceover here on the replay, so I know to add that to it. So I noticed Lu Bu's been occupied there, so I just take it upon myself to master steal this Overlord. Try to get some more pressure on all the lanes with those dragons that they send out in waves. So pretty easy stuff. Lee Sin in red form is not very hard. So you just gotta be deliberate and vigilant. So just keep chucking at them. me, that's not the right word. Chipping away. Chipping away is the right word. A little tired. We've been up for like 16 hours, so that's to be had. Oh well. See Nakaruru coming up, and we just take some of her counter jungle to put her further behind, and we're just testing her awareness to see if she wants to do any rebuttal play. Try to capitalize on the fact that I might be split pushing her early. It was 5 minutes, so after the 4-minute mark, that shield does disappear. And anytime after that, you can definitely start taking down their turrets really fast. As you can see, I do have that Spark Forged Dagger there, so we are ready to start killing everything. Once I have that Doomsday, the soloist capabilities on the Lee Sin is more solidified, so that'll be really nice. Okay, just getting ahead of these minions before the other minions come and steal my CS or my GPM. I don't want that to happen. I noticed Lu Bu left for a long duration of time, so now we start chipping away at their map state. Slowly but surely. I believe we ended this game with like a 48% turret damage, but I'll go over that. I could be wrong. But I played a lot of Lee Sin games in a row, so it could be an old statistic from a previous game. So I'll verify that at the end, but that's definitely a reality. You definitely take an abundance of turrets, and he has multi-lane pressure, so it's easy for him to go into the lanes, clear everything out very fast as per hyper carry kit, and then you can just go to a different lane, perhaps a losing lane, and try to regain that map state if they're losing that lane. So if I notice the bot lane's having trouble, they can just switch with me. That's good practice here. And then they'll have an easier target by having ranged against the melee. So that's like a courteous thing you can do. Is just switch them. You can even tell them, hey, do you want to switch? This might be easier for you. But it's pretty much common practice, so it'll just usually happen automatically. You usually don't have to communicate. Most you need to communicate because talking takes away from the game. It's just ping. Mias are really important. Going missing, just say enemy missing. Usually people are watching the map at this level of play, but at a lower level of play, you probably want to call that out, otherwise they'll probably get really mad at you. So I've seen that happen in all the MOBA games. Notice I pull 2 of them here, and then I see that third Nuwa coming in. Try to play a little stupid there, and just use my ult. And then I was also covered in zoning the Nakaruru if she jumped me. Comes into that birdie farm, and she just jumps you and does a whole bunch of damage. Looks like she's just testing the waters, looking for opportunity. I noticed that later in the game too, so you could tell the Nakaruru is very competent. Unfortunately, she wasted the birdie farm, and I know she can't use it immediately afterwards. So I just chase her down, slow her, and finish her off. As that #1 skill is very good at chase and gives you some hyper carry bonus to your attack speed and damage. Also gives you some heal and CC immunity. So it's pretty OP to say the least. You will see him get banned sometimes, so just watch out for that if you try to pick him up. Sometimes you won't get it, so try to have a backup pick. And your 2 skill is just damage and slowdown, but it's pretty nice because then you can catch them with that hyper carry. And then your ult skill in the red form is that big AoE knock-up, so that's pretty nice as well. She's basically getting clapped there, and as per the rules, I did not want to try to initiate and then get clapped right afterwards. If she had a higher life, then maybe I would have tried to do something, and if I had sprint up, then maybe I would have had an opportunity to run away. But it did not seem like a good play to go into, and then I would have risked inting, and that would have looked bad, and gold would have shifted in their favor. You can see we are winning by 2.5k or so. So definitely don't want to be the one to make it worse for us. Try to come steal the Overlord again because I noticed Lu Bu is occupied, and unfortunately it reset the timer. So unfortunate. Lamb comes in there with a triple kill, so I guess his taxing paid out, but it's still bad habits and bad practice. So I wouldn't get in the habit of taxing the solo. I did call him out saying you're taxing my lane, and he just didn't say anything and didn't give a shit. But at least he's doing some work. So he's at 14. So it worked out. It worked out. I'm at 12.
Cannons moving out. Your team has destroyed a turret. Your team has destroyed a turret.
All right, so we got that tier 2 out the way. Unfortunately, the minions did not push up far enough. Got some damage on that tier 3. I see Libu coming. I don't know if he was going to ult me or not, so we just CC immunity, run away with that one skill. We got that Doomsday done. And then we got, I believe it's called the Life Claw. That's really nasty stuff because it has a passive. Or, not passive. My apologies. A active ability where you just click the button on the tier 3 symbol, and then you get this absurd amount of shield. Absurd. That item is totally overpowered. So okay, I see both of them going for our red buff. I'm trying to protect that lamb, so I try to push that KN away. The Nakaru again used the jump or the birdie form incorrectly, both of that, and she did not have an out, and I knew it, so I punished her for doing so. Can we talk about punishment for using skills incorrectly? And she did that twice now. So I know she's not got the best habits, but she does test the waters. So Nakarus are very opportunistic champions. You'll see that mindset in wearing the cobbler's shoes. They are watching, they're looking for opportunities. Typical jungler, always watching the map. And then she can kind of fly around and just see what you're gonna do, and then decide based on if you get punished, if you did something wrong, or maybe she feels like you're out-positioned or peeled out from the team, and she'll capitalize on that. So as the game progresses, I like getting the Tyrant over the Overlord because I like that extra damage buff. As I'm playing ADC, you'll notice I will come in here and just solo this on my HoK or whoever I'm playing in the lane. This one is way better than the Overlord. Now, if you're behind on map state, then I would get the Overlord. But if you're doing good and you have a gold lead, then you might as well just stick with the damage, because then you're more likely to win the micros and you'll be set for success. You're going to get some kills out of it. Again, it's really hard to contest enemies who have the Tyrant buff. Again, that damage is very big, so you don't want to screw yourself over by choosing the wrong one is the point. Make critical choices based on what you need. Again, this is evolving conditions, so pick what you need and be happy with the choice. Okay, we're just using our one skill to easily go through the map. And then I see that the Nakaru is not picking up her jungle. So I take her jungle and counter jungle, and I keep crawling up their ass in a way of saying, or for lack of better words, trying to push these minion waves and these super minions up there. I got 2 babysitters there, so that's looking pretty good. Nakaru tries to play. I expected her to jump down, and then I was going to turn around on her, but unfortunately I knew Nuwa was also right behind her, so I was just trying to get her peeled away from the Nuwa, but unfortunately she was like, no, I've learned my lesson, I'll just let you go. I'm like, okay. So she gives a little respect to the Lee Sin in the mind, and I'm like, okay, that's cool, I'll respect it. I would agree, I concur that you shouldn't do that. And then I kind of gave her some notice by shooting out my second skill. I'm like, well, if you did, then I was going to slow you and probably attack you, go apeshit crazy, or whatever I do, you know? Anyway, so we're just going back to the side lane again, clawing up their ass, trying to keep pressure on the lane, being all sneaky as a master thief, looking for that backdoor opportunity and trying to keep pressure on the lane. So my team has alleviated pressure on themselves. Now they can get this counter jungle. Now they can group up, push the waves, get more gold. They can counter jungle themselves. As you can see, I think the consort is taking those backs. Oh, maybe not actually, but she had opportunity to do so if she wanted to. I see things are going not in our favor. So I tried to ult in case they chase to secure my out so I can just run away. Really bad play. If they start ulting, you should definitely kite away and get those out of them and then punish them for not getting the full value. So if they ever have ult on cooldown, you can call that out, and then your teammates also know that they can make plays to punish them being on ult cooldown. But just keep in mind that HoK has some of the shortest cooldowns on ult in the game, and that's not even including building cooldown reduction. Anyways, I see they pressured that and they wasted their ults, and they're all way too far pushed up to respawn. Even though the Nuwa had an ult, she might have wasted it. So I took my opportunity to go in there and backdoor them and Master Thief that for the win. So 2-0, as you can tell, kills were not that important again.
Checkmate.
I had the highest amount of gold, even though we had 11 total kills out of the whole game. And that's typical solo laner, especially as a multi-pressure laner. As you can see, the Lubu on the enemy team had the second highest gold with 11,341. So I barely beat him with like 200 gold, not even that. Anyways, so that was a really good game to show you the power of the Lee Sin, his multi-pressure capabilities, his bread and butter build, and the items, tier 3 items that I use in my build for him. So pretty good stuff. Quickly looking over. It's one new item there on the KM that I don't know what it does or what it is. He seemed pretty squishy as well. So I'm not sure about that build on the KN on the enemy side, the MVP healer. But he got MVP, so I guess it's probably not a troll if I were to think deductively. So you probably could trust that. So I would say all the builds here are meta. So you could try those out and see what you think. Anyways, to the metrics real quick to just go over that. These are important details, critical thoughts that need to be said so you know what you should be doing. My team fighting was at 18%, again, because I was split pressuring, multi-pressuring the map like a Lee Sin or Fuzi should be doing. Got total gold there for 23, so as you can see, I was definitely getting the gold even without the kills. I got a couple, but that wasn't the high amount. Damage taken, didn't really interact with them too much, so that wasn't a big deal. And then 11% on the damage dealt. Again, I didn't really interact with the enemy team because I was too busy pressuring them every way, shape, or form that I could and getting those objectives. So, looks like Lamb was really hard carrying there. He got an MVP with 72% and 24% damage. Kong Ling, 24% damage, 36% on the team fighting. Consort Yu with the high here with 27% out of the whole game on damage. So typical Consort Yu, really nasty stuff. So you guys have seen me play that before. It's really good stuff there. Anyways, that about concludes the video. So if you have any questions or concerns, go ahead and put a comment down below. I'll try to get to you in a timely manner. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.